Today on our 2017 Ford F-250 Super Duty Supercrew cab, we're going to be installing the PowertraxPRO MX hard tonneau cover, part number RT90383. This retractable tonneau cover is powered with remote access for easy operation. We can roll it in and back out with a push of a button. It's a super low profile hard tonneau cover made out of a lightweight aluminum. When used in conjunction with a locking tailgate, it gives you total bed security. It features an electromagnetic brake, so we can lock it in any position. This is great for partial loads and securing your load. It operates on sealed ball bearing rollers for a maintenance-free glide. It only takes up about 14 inches here at the front of our truck bed, so we still have plenty of truck bed access. It's going to be great for fifth wheel or gooseneck towing. It has a UV protected finish. It's also going to deter scratching, and it's going to be resistant to rust and corrosion. The integrated LED light makes it easy to see in our truck bed, and it features an auto shutoff so it won't drain our battery. It's only going to sit about 1 1/8 inches up above our truck bed rails. Here on the inside, it takes up about 1.5 inches. The canister features 2 drain hoses to prevent water buildup. The rubber seal helps keep it weather tight. One thing to note, on most trucks it will cover your stake pockets. It's an easy no-drill installation. It simply attaches to your truck bed rails with the provided clamps. Being that it's powered, you will have to run electrical up to your battery, and it is fuse protected. The whole thing features a limited lifetime warranty. 2 keychain remotes are included. The O is for open, C is for close, the one near in the center runs the light. It can support a distributed weight of up to 500 pounds. The spiral canister is a patented design which prevents the cover from rolling up onto itself, preventing wear and tear. To begin our installation, we're going to be working with some 1/2 inch diameter wire loom. It's sold by the foot. You can pick it up on our website with part number 459075-1. Now this step is optional, but I'm going to be covering my wiring harness with the wire loom. There's 25 feet of wire. This is going to help protect it better over time. Now we can take our wiring harness and we're going to start right here next to our battery. Now we're not going to hook it up just yet. We're just going to begin routing it towards our truck bed. I'm going to make sure I have plenty of excess near the battery here, and then I'm going to run it alongside and then down through towards our frame rail. Now I'm going to zip tie it right here. That way it remains in place while I route it. Now I'll grab my other end and I'll begin routing it down. Now while we're routing it, we want to be sure to stay away from anything hot or any moving parts. As you can see, it's coming down through the wheel well here. We're actually going to be going along the other side of this frame rail here. So now that I've got it, I'm just going to feed it over to the other side. Now we can pull it down, and I'm going to run it along the frame rail here, but on this side. I've run my wiring harness along the frame rail using the included zip ties, and as you can see here, I was able to use some of the factory anchor points as well. Now since my gas tank is in the way, I'm going to begin feeding it over the frame rail to the other side. Okay, as you can see, I've continued routing it along the outside of my frame now. Here, I'm going to run it up over my frame to body attachment. And I'm going to come out right here. Now from here, I'm going to begin routing it up through between the cab and my truck bed. Once you've reached the top of the truck bed, if you've opted to use the wire loom, we're going to remove the wire and cut off the excess. Then I'm going to tape it so it remains in place. Now we're going to take the wire and we're going to tuck it underneath our plastic bed rail cap, and the rest of it will be protected by the weather seal on our Retrax cover. Now let's turn our attention to the tonneau cover itself. We're going to be installing our 2 side rails. To begin, we'll first need to remove the shipping bracket here and the white tube. For the white tube, we can just pull out. The shipping bracket, you will need to provide yourself with a Phillips head screwdriver. We'll just take the screw out of the side, and then we can simply remove the bracket. We'll repeat that same process for the other side. Now we can begin installing our rails. We'll need to be sure that we have the correct side. The tab here is going to set on the inside of our tonneau cover assembly here. A portion of the corner is going to set on the inside here. But we also need to be sure that our rollers here begin to go within the channel here. So I'm just going to line it up and begin feeding it through until we've got it in place. And then we can just rest it down. Now we can put our hardware in. We're going to take the two Phillips head screws. We're going to put one in here and one in here. Take our Phillips head screwdriver and get that started. Then we can repeat the same process on the other side. Now let's install our rear plate. We'll need to be sure that the notched portions feed towards the tonneau cover assembly. We'll line it up with the rails here and then push it in place until the holes align with the holes on our rails. It also needs to be flush with the back side. Now we'll take our screws and our included tool and thread that through on each side. Now we'll grab an extra set of hands and set our tonneau cover assembly in place. Now after setting it in place, we want to be sure that our weather stripping here is sitting on top of our bulkhead. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go along and make sure that that's what it's doing. With our tailgate up, now we need to be sure we have an 1/8 inch crack between the rail here and our tailgate. Our shipping bracket doubles as a spacer so we can use the smaller end on top. And we need to be sure we have an 1/8 inch crack on each side. If you don't, then you'll need to slide the rail forward or backward. Now we can install our rail clamps. So we'll install our front one first. We'll need to be sure that our clamp is opened up. And we're going to install it between the two set screws here. So we'll raise it up into position. We'll need to make sure that the teeth line up with the grooves on our rail. You'll need to provide a 9/16 wrench. Once we get it hand tightened, you can tighten it the rest of the way down. Now we're going to install the rear clamp the same way, between the two set screws. I'm going to go ahead and hand tighten it. Once that's done, I'm going to apply some down pressure, hand tighten it again, and then tighten it the rest of the way down. Now we can repeat the same process for our driver's side. Now we'll need to grab a tape measure and take 3 measurements. All of our measurements are going to be taken between the rails. We'll start here at the front. Every measurement after that needs to be the same as the front. So we'll take our first measurement, and we need to remember that number, and then we'll need to go to the center, and then finally the rear. And they all need to be within a 1/16 of each other. If they are, that's great. If your measurements aren't the same, you'll need to remove the clamps, grab the included Allen tool, and adjust the set screws. Each one complete turn is 1/16 of an inch. You'll need to adjust each rail evenly. Since our measurements are equal, we're okay to move on to the next step, which is running our drain tubes. Now, if you'd like to, you could simply remove the grommet here at the front of your truck bed, or you can do like what we're going to do and drill a hole just large enough for our tube to go through the center. Now I'll run my tube through the hole, then attach this end to the bottom of the canister. We're looking for 2 clicks. Then once it's in place, we can clean up our excess. Now let's turn our attention back to our wiring harness. Let's go ahead and connect the 2 connectors, and then we can bunch up our excess. Once I've done so, I'm just going to tuck it up behind the canister here. Once I've got it bunched up, I'll just grab a zip tie here. And then I'll take another zip tie to attach it up in here. Now back here at the battery, it's time to connect our wires. The red wire goes to our positive side, and the brown wire goes to our negative side. Let's go ahead and connect our red wire first. I'm actually just going to connect it to the post here. And then we can connect our brown wire. And finally, we can install our fuse. Then we'll just put on our cap, and we're all set. With everything hooked up, let's try it out. So we'll hit C for close. Now you'll notice that it stopped right here. That's to be expected. You may have to help it along the first 48 hours to the tailgate so it can get broke in. Then we'll close up our tailgate and we'll show you how it's working in a few days. It's been a few days and we're back with our truck. As you can see, it opens and closes with ease. A quick pro tip, if it's still hanging up on you, some wax along the rails can really help you out. And that's going to complete our installation of the PowertraxPRO MX Hard Tonneau Cover, part number RT90383, on our 2017 Ford F-250 Super Duty Supercrew cab.
Click the link below to shop, learn more, or visit us at etrailer.com.